Hi there, welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So today we're doing a look back at a classic rock album. In this case, it's one of my favorite all-time albums by this band. A great album, I think. Certainly put them on was one of the 2 or 3 albums that put them on the map. And so without further ado, let's talk about this album. A Farewell to Kings by Rush. You know, this came out after 2112, which is a kind of a heavy album, almost like a progressive heavy metal album, and one of the ones that influenced a lot of heavy metal bands. This one is very different, very different. It's almost a different band. They added quite a bit more instrumentation to this album than they had on 2112. And it sounds completely different. It's a much softer sounding album, very proggy, almost has a classical sound to it, you know, and that's to me what makes this such a special album. You know, probably has one of my favorites Rush songs of all time in Xanadu. But before I get too far into discussion about the album, I'll just give you the vitals on it. It was released on September 1st, 1978, produced by Rush and Terry Brown, another Terry Brown classic, at Rockfield in Rockfield, Wales. It was the first Rush album released outside of Toronto, produced in the studio outside of Toronto. And that was in England, and they said that the whole background there lended a good flavor to the album, and you can hear it. It's a really well produced album, I think, and has some very classic Rush sound to it. Certainly, I think it's probably in my top 3 or top 2 albums by Rush, you know, I just really love this album. So anyways, we'll just talk a little bit about the tracks. A Farewell to Kings was a track originally, I liked it, but it wasn't as impactful as some of the other stuff on the album. It's since become probably in my top 2 on this album, and maybe my top 5 in Rush in general. A song I sing a lot. I love this song. You know, when we turn the pages of history, these days that passed long ago. Such a catchy song. I like the acoustic guitar bit at the beginning that Alex does, and even the video that accompanies the original thing with him in a field playing this. Great song. Then, of course, that goes right into Xanadu, which I don't know what to say about this song other than it is one. To me, it's like the Stairway to Heaven of Rush. This is Rush's Stairway to Heaven. Just such a beautiful song, like from every aspect. Instrumentation is great. The hooks are fantastic. The lyrics are second to nothing. I really dig all the noises that Pert puts on here, and this is one of the first albums, and this is one of the first songs where the keyboards start to play a major part in Rush's sound, and no more so than you hear in Xanadu. You know, just a real catchy song. It's probably the song that I've listened to the most of any other song in the history of rock. If you were to line up all the songs in the history of rock and count how many times I've listened to every song, this one would be probably right at the top. There might be a Kiss song that might be higher than that, but I don't think so. I think this is now number 1 most listened to Rush song for me, and most listened to rock song for me. Closer to the Heart, it's a good song. It did well on the radio. It was a radio hit. Maybe overplayed a bit. I don't dislike the song. I don't ever turn it off when I'm playing the album. I play the whole album. I always have with this one. But it's not one of my favorite songs. It's not one of the classic Rush songs that I go to when I want just a classic Rush song. The next song, Cinderella Man, at one point was probably my favorite song on this album. It was the second single released in the new year, I believe, in '78. A great track. I just love everything. I love the lyrics. I love the story. I love the hard part of the song. I love Geddy's voice. Great song. It's faded a bit over time. Not one of my top two anymore on the album, but I still really love the song. Then we get to Madrigal, a song that I never listened to much early on, and over the years it's grown with me. I like the kind of mellow sound to it. Yes, actually did a song, same thing around the same period of time too, which was so. And then I feel the same way about that song I do about this one. So, you know, I like to tie my stuff together, and the song it's a good song. And then the last song was a song I didn't listen to and really didn't like, and sometimes would stop the album right when this song Madrigal was over, and this song would start. I just didn't care for it, and the second part, which is on Hemispheres, Book 2 of the Cygnus X1 album song. This was X1 Part 1, and that one was Part 2, Hemispheres. I didn't really like either of them, but in the last decade or so, I've come to appreciate this song quite a bit. The bass on here is very good, and the riff that Alex comes up with is fantastic too. And the song has grown on me. It's now, I wouldn't say it's in the top 10 of my songs, or maybe even the top 20, but it's definitely in the upper echelon of Rush's stuff now, which then strengthens this whole album. So from top to bottom, this is a strong Rush album, 6 tracks. I love the cover. I love the whole feel of this album. This was the beginning of their real progressive era, and it has that classical sound that I enjoy. Lots of different sounds on here. If you really like Rush, or if you really want to try getting into progressive rock, this is a good starting album. You know, the catchy hooks on Xanadu and that, fantastic. So anyways, there you have it. Rush's Farewell to Kings from 1977. A legendary album to me. Definitely a masterpiece. So if you like this video and you want me to do more Rush, please like in the bottom and make your comments about the album as well. If you have anything to say or any little tidbit, I love to learn, especially about Rush. I'm just absorb everything I hear. And, you know, subscribe if you want to hear more of this kind of content. So there you have it. So coming up this week, it's almost the end of the week. I'm going to do part 3 of my collectibles this week. It will be done probably after this album, so whenever this is released, which will be today. Tomorrow will be my collectibles, and if you've been following it, this is the third of a 3-part series. And so there you have it. As far as the top 10 go, I still am undetermined on who I want to do, and hopefully that'll come by tomorrow and I'll be able to tell you some more. Anyways, this is Prog Monster signing off. I hope you have a good day. Bye.